If you don't think thoughts matter, there's a guy named Dr. Emoto, Dr. Matsuru Emoto from Japan. And this guy is a scientist, he is an author, he's an entrepreneur. And what he did was he began to take water samples from bodies of water in Japan. And he studied them under a carbon microscope, an electron microscope. He flash froze them for 3 hours and then took a look at their ice crystals to see if the water had different ice crystals from different bodies of water. And they found that it was kind of varied and there wasn't much difference or sameness of the water crystals of just the water. But then he tried an experiment. He had a Buddhist monk pray over the water. And then he froze it and looked at it. And the crystals were spectacular. And then he played music to the water. And the crystals, again, were just ornate and incredible looking. Then he took words on a slip of paper and he taped them to the outside of the bottle, both facing out and then facing in. And he began to take pictures of those crystals. These up here, this is love plus gratitude. This is playing Japanese folk dance music. This one is box air on the G string. Yeah. This is you fool on the outside of the bottle, you fool, written on the words. What Dr. Emoto found was the more intense the emotion, the more ornate and intricate the crystals became. So what he started to figure out was that emotion was part of the equation in terms of affecting the law of attraction. It's not just thoughts. It's the actual emotion that we think when we have those thoughts. Napoleon Hill said, thoughts which are mixed with any of the feelings of emotions constitute a magnetic force which attracts other similar or related thoughts. The feeling of emotion creates a magnetic force, meaning the more intense the emotion, the more magnetic the force bringing that to you. So here's what happens when we think a thought, and especially a negative thought, like, oh my gosh, I have a final on Friday, I'm going to fail it. What is the emotion that you feel with that thought? Fear. What else? Stress. Angst. Negativity. And it almost wells up from inside you, right? Or think about, I have to call someone with bad news. And all of a sudden you're feeling all these negative feelings, and your feelings are what are attracting things to you. And so what I'm saying is your feelings begin to become a guidance system for you to determine where your thoughts are. See, what happened was when I'd travel, I used to say to myself when I'd call home, I love talking to my kids on the phone when I'm on the road, just because my daughter sounds so grown up. She's 8 going on 18. And my boys are hilarious, and they're telling me about all sorts of things that are going on at home, and they're blasting each other with Nerf blasters while they're talking to me and stuff. I love talking to them. Yet when I'd call home, my wife wouldn't always pick up the phone. And I would think, she's probably mad at me because I'm on the road again. Right? Tim, you know how this feels. She's mad at me because I'm on the road again. And then I think, well, she shouldn't be mad because I'm providing for the family and I'm out here working my tail off, right? I shouldn't be treated like this. And I'm in this downward spiral of thoughts and emotions, right? What happens when I call her? That was a very knowing glance, by the way, Samantha. Doug, are you feeling me here? Are you feeling my flow? Can I get an amen from you traveling folks? So imagine my thoughts and my emotions as I'm going through this. When I call home, what can I expect? I'm now mad. And guess what happens? Thoughts lead to feelings. Feelings lead to actions. Actions lead to someone else's reaction from my action. Where have you been? Well, what do you mean, where have I been? Why are you so mad at me? Well, how come you didn't answer when I called? We were outside playing, and I don't carry the phone with me all the time. So here's what I started doing. The emotion that I was feeling, I was like, this sucks. I don't want to feel this. This is not a fun emotion to feel. I want to change the way I feel, so I have to change the thoughts that I'm thinking to affect the feelings that I'm feeling, to affect the action, to affect the reaction. So my thoughts now, I call home and nobody answers. I go, well, they're probably out playing in the backyard having fun. That's cool. I'm glad I can provide that for them, right? Or I think maybe they went and visited my grandma because she's not doing well, and that's really nice of my wife. So that's what they're doing. Then when I call, I'm like, hey, where have you been? What have you been doing? Have you had a good day? And now it's all positive and airy, and she's good and we're good. and everything's copacetic. You dig? It happens all the time, everywhere. Your thoughts generate a feeling, the feeling generates an action, the action generates a reaction from someone else. If we want to change the way people behave to us, we just have to change our thoughts. It's pretty easy. So how many of you are flying home? When you fly, yeah. How many of you hope to fly home? I would hate for you guys to have to rent a car one way back. Yeah, that would not be fun. When you go to the airport, this is what I want you to do. I want you to have a super big smile on your face. I want you to ask the gate agent how their day is going and if they've dealt with any difficult people today. Right? And I want you to say to them, I bet you deal with a lot of difficult people. How do you do that on a daily basis and maintain such a positive outlook on life? And you know what they're going to do? What do you think they'll do? They're going to perk up and they're going to respond in kind. Yeah, there are some real a-holes in this world, you know? I mean, they're going to come right out and tell you what they're thinking. And then you're going to say, hey, is there any possible way that there's a seat open in first class? Or business? How about an exit row? Can I get an exit row? That would be awesome. Can you make sure I get extra peanuts or a drink or something? I mean, I just want to like have an experience today. Can you help me like have a level 10 experience on the flight today? And you know what they'll do? Whatever they freaking can to help you do that. Because you just went with a positive thought and positive emotion and happy feelings into an action, into a reaction.